Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. We have breaking Q Post. Today is August 6th, 2018. This is Q Post number 1821. It provides two links to intelligence.house.gov. So we are going to be reading some government documents. I'll try to get through them quick. We won't glaze over them though, because I think it's really, really important to understand these. Q says it's important to understand these prior to the next stuff. Okay, prior to next. So we're going to read through these right now. Here is the first one. This is the memo key points. So there's the HPSCI memo key points. Then there's the FISA Title 1 summary. These are two PDFs we're going to go over right now. So this is from the U.S. House of Representatives Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Memo key points. The first set is a bullet point list of the overview of process. It says, the committee has made this memo public due to the American people's right to know this information. The committee, which is responsible for overseeing the activities of the intelligence community, hopes the publication of this information will help inform the public about abuses that have occurred at the DOJ and the FBI, and spur needed reform and accountability at those agencies so that similar abuses will not occur under any administration, Democrat or Republican. The government's surveillance capabilities are extraordinary powers that must be carefully circumscribed to protect Americans' civil liberties. Any use of these powers for political purposes or any purpose other than defending the American people is intolerable. The decision to release the memo was procedurally sound in accordance with House and committee rules and included review by the executive branch and over 200 members of the House. It is in the public interest to release the memo, which was carefully crafted to safeguard national security. Key revelations from the declassified memo. The Steele dossier formed an essential part of a FISA application targeting Carter Page. Former FBI Director, Deputy Director McCabe confirmed that no surveillance warrant would have been sought from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court without the Steele dossier information. FBI and DOJ obtained the FISC, so that's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, from the court an initial warrant and 3 FISA renewals. Then FBI Director James Comey signed 3 FISA applications in question on behalf of the FBI, and former Deputy Director Andy McCabe signed 1. Then Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, then Deputy Attorney General Dana Bounty, and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein each signed 1 or more FISA applications on behalf of the DOJ. Steele was paid over $160,000 by the Democratic National Committee, that's the DNC, and Hillary for America, Clinton campaign for his dossier. Neither the initial application in October 2016 nor any of the renewals disclose or reference the role of the DNC, Clinton campaign, or any party campaign in funding Steele's efforts. And this is bolded, even though the political origins of the Steele dossier were then known to senior DOJ and FBI officials. When the FISA application relied on Steele's past record of credible reporting on other unrelated matters, it ignored or concealed his anti-Trump financial and ideological motivations. And these are 2 sub-bullet points to speak more about that. It says, before and after Steele was terminated as a source, he maintained contact with DOJ then Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr. In September 2016, Steele told Orr he was, quote, was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. or later relayed this evidence of Steele's bias to the FBI, where it was recorded in official files but not included in any of the FISA applications. None of the FISA applications mention that the FBI had separately authorized payment to Steele for the dossier information. Now, according to the head of the FBI's Counterintelligence Division, Assistant Director Bill Priestap, corroboration of the Steele dossier was in its, quote, infancy at the time of the initial Carter Page FISA application. In early January 2017, Director Comey briefed President-elect Trump on a summary of the Steele dossier, a document he later described as, quote, salacious and unverified. The Page FISA application incorrectly assesses that Steele did not directly provide information to Yahoo News. Steele has admitted in British court filings that he met with Yahoo News and several other outlets in September of 2016 at the direction of Fusion GPS. Perkins Coie, the law firm that hired Fusion GPS on behalf of the DNC and Clinton campaign, was aware of Steele's initial media contacts and hosted at least one meeting in Washington, D.C. in 2016 with Steele and Fusion GPS. Orr's wife, Bruce Orr's wife, Nellie Orr, was employed by Fusion GPS to assist in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump. Orr later provided the FBI with all of his wife's opposition research, paid for by the DNC and Clinton campaign via Fusion GPS. The Carter Page FISA application also mentions information regarding fellow Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos, but there is no evidence of any cooperation or conspiracy between Page and Papadopoulos. Now, these are the top 10 memo facts. The memo is not intended to undermine the special counsel. It is intended to expose past abuses of the FISA process at the DOJ and FBI. The memo is not intended to undermine the DOJ or the FBI. The House's fulfillment of its constitutional responsibilities enables effective constitutional oversight of those agencies. The memo does not jeopardize national security. The careful release of formerly classified information served the public interest, followed House rules, and included executive branch review. The memo does not undermine FISA Section 702. It has nothing to do with Section 702, which targets foreigners located overseas. The memo does not contain any factual errors. The FBI did not identify any factual errors during its review of the memo. The memo does not result from cooperation with the White House. No one outside the House Intelligence Committee played any role in drafting the memo. The memo is not a collection of partisan talking points. It lays out important facts for the American people about FISA abuses. The memo is not the product of, quote, secret changes. Minor edits were made before the vote to publicly release the memo, which was procedurally sound. The memo is not a staff-driven exercise. All committee Republican members were engaged in the process that led to the memo. The committee did not suppress the Democrats' memo. It voted unanimously to follow the same process for minority memos by first making it available to the House. HPSCI memo edits. The HPSCI ranking member Adam Schiff has been a ceaseless opponent of the committee's attempts to collect and share information on FISA abuses. He even denounced the committee's issuance of subpoenas to the DOJ and FBI for information the agencies were withholding from congressional oversight. In a last-ditch effort to block publication of the HPSCI memo, Ranking Member Schiff issued a press release complaining about minor edits the committee had made to the memo. The edits implemented by the HPSC before the HPSC voted to make the memo public included routine, minor technical changes and edits suggested by the FBI and by the committee minority themselves, respectfully. Ranking Member Schiff's press release was one in a long line of media stunts meant to oppose transparency and stifle the committee's investigation of possible surveillance abuses by top officials at the FBI and DOJ. That's the end of the first document. This was from the U.S. House of Representatives Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. This is a separate document from the same committee, the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. It's titled FISA Title I Summary. Title I of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act governs the targeting of foreign powers or agents of foreign powers for electronic surveillance by the U.S. government. Agents of foreign powers can be either U.S. persons or non-U.S. persons. If the agent of a foreign power is a U.S. person, the government must show that the U.S. person is engaging in espionage, terrorism, or sabotage by or on behalf of a foreign power that involves a violation of a criminal statute. Applications to target a U.S. person under Title I must be accompanied by a certification from a senior national security official, which may include the director or deputy director of the FBI. They must then be approved by the Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General, or the Assistant Attorney General for National Security. If one of those officials approves an application, it is then sent to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, which consists of judges selected by the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, who serve on a rotating basis. The FISC, that is the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, decides whether to approve or deny an application based on whether the government has demonstrated probable cause to believe the proposed target is a foreign power or agent of a foreign power, and that the facility or place where the electronic surveillance will be directed is being used by the foreign power or agent of a foreign power. If the application is approved, the U.S. government can conduct electronic surveillance of the target for the period of time specified in the application. At the end of that time period, the government must stop surveilling the target unless it goes back to the court and applies to renew the surveillance. For targeted U.S. citizens, FISA applications must be renewed by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court every 90 days, with a separate finding of probable cause to continue the surveillance. Title I is a different authority than Section 702, which Congress reauthorized several weeks ago. That's the end of the second document. Please add your comments as you see fit. There's a lot here to unpack and understand. Please rewatch this video. I'll leave links to the documents so that you can read through them yourselves. I think it's very important that we understand exactly what's happened here, because it seems like the documents have already said what it's not. And what it's not looked like all the attacks that would go against the document, the general talking points on how to make sure this doesn't go any bigger, or how to knock it down in the media, or how to just make sure that no one takes it seriously. This first document, these points down here, these are really important to understand, and I think these top 10 memo facts are something that you should really get to. It talks about what it's not. So I think that this document gets ahead of the media reporting on this. If you see anything on the fake news media, on Washington Post, New York Times, or CNN, you need to like or dislike those videos and add your comments in them accordingly. We can't let them get away with trying to steal the truth on this one. Until next time, it's Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.